So recently I watched Jacksepticeye watch another YouTuber's video on his favorite YouTubers.
This was a video idea that Jay Schlatt thought of about talking about your favorite YouTuber.
And then he made his own favorite YouTubers clip. Because YouTubers can sometimes be so original. So I figured I'd sit down as well and make my own favorite YouTubers video. Because yours truly is so original himself as well.
Gun Meme Review.
Gun Meme Review.
Meme Review. Welcome back to the Airgun Action Sports channel. My name is the Weekend Marksman.
What?
And today I'm just gonna casually sit down and go through some of my favorite YouTubers who influenced me personally and my channel, as well as I find entertaining or interesting in any kind of substance. Of course, naturally I want to address the elephant in the room, since we are kind of a gun channel in general. Whether it be air guns, paintball, airsoft or whatnot, I figured I'd had to break the ice and touch the subject of firearms, which we don't have on this channel per se, but naturally some of the actual firearm channels on YouTube have had a major influence on me personally, as well as my channel.
Undoubtedly.
Probably the oldest one that has had any kind of influence on me personally has got to be Matt and Demolition Ranch.
Hey, all the boys came out.
He approaches firearms in a way that is both entertaining and educational, but not like in a review type of sense that you might find in some other channels. He's more like
Every single gun in the Demo Ranch collection.
kind of experimental with his huge arsenal on the ranch.
We got all my guns. We're just gonna walk down this line.
And he kind of does it in a way that would seem unsafe or stupid to a person without any kind of knowledge on firearms and firearm safety. But naturally, he condones safety and safe weapons handling in a way that is also educational and entertaining within the limitations of the laws of this country and government, which of course are way different from the rest of the world compared to the United States. And he does this on his own personal property, which in America is a big deal. Now, I don't know much about the Second Amendment rights or the laws in general in the United States, compared of course to us in Europe, where you can't really own firearms unless your job or other exterior factors allow that. But as stated earlier, this channel and me personally, we don't handle any kind of firearms. We just cover all of the airgun variants. Now the AK guy and Brandon Herrera, who now lives in the state of Texas, in Austin, he also tried to run in politics quite recently, but his main attraction for myself personally is due to his extensive knowledge on firearms and firearms technology. Check out sdi.edu.
You can always check out sdi.edu down at
EDD break.
ADD break.
Is that he actually manufactures and gunsmiths most of his own firearms because he is educated and licensed to do that, which segues me into the AK-50, which he designed and manufactured himself from scratch, and it took him about 8 years to do.
The AK-50. It's been a long road making this baby come to life. Back to the video.
And so that was very much fun for me to follow on his channel for all this time. And he did it quite successfully as well. Now his series, the Gun Meme Review, has been also a great deal for me to watch on my spare time. And I've also kind of channeled myself to behave and act like Brandon on camera as well. Like many other YouTubers as well, you take influences where you can, especially when you're starting your channel and you don't kind of have your own camera personality yet developed. So you kind of take influences from things you like and watch yourself. Now Scott from Kentucky Ballistics is another great influence on my part, but he's more or less the jolly goof kind of guy. His channel is not that educational, I would say, for me personally. More or less, it's just great simple fun with firearms. Of course, he does this in the most safe manner, with the minor risk of injury always lurking behind the scenes. But I find his skits so entertaining and funny and original that I've actually kind of copied some of the skits myself on my channel.
It's watermelon time!
Now, of course, there are loads and loads of firearms channels on YouTube from the States, for obvious reasons. Naming a few: admin results, as well as ground thumb, which are all highly entertaining, educational, and just good fun. And it kind of seems that they are all familiar with each other. They've collaborated with each other's channels a lot, naturally because they're all from the States, but it's a big country, so you wouldn't expect that to be the most easiest collaboration thing, even across the pond either. Now, when it comes to video making and editing and all that kind of aspect, I find myself sometimes looking for new approaches for video making and editing. And when I do that, I find myself watching the Corridor Crew. Now, they're all about the art of filmmaking and visual effects and all that. So I find myself watching their channel a lot, especially when I'm looking for new ideas to improve my content. Now, you might not have known this, but since I'm such a small channel at this time, I create all my videos from scratch till release, all by myself and only using my phone, which I'm currently recording this video as well. Yeah. So with Corridor Crew, I find myself looking for new ideas on how to make things possible when I have an idea and I'm struggling to find the most effective way to put it on camera. No! Oh, I'm very low on health. Get wrecked! Double kill! And put it on post-production and how I get the look, how I get the result that I'm looking for, or something similar to that extent and close enough. And that's a lot of work sometimes, mostly, but it's very satisfying to find new approaches to filmmaking and editing, especially when you find the end result satisfying and successful. Now, I don't do much gun reviews, or at all. I've reviewed some of my markers on the channel here, but I've never actually gone to the extent of like testing them out in a way that it's ballistic or scientific, because I lack the instruments to measure the power outputs and the accuracies and whatnot, all the specs of the markers. So I've just decided to leave that to the professionals on other channels. One of those are AAR, or Andy's Airgun Reviews, which he does from the UK, England. And whenever I'm looking for a new marker to purchase or I'm considering about it, I usually try and find Andy's reviews on that specific marker, if he has made any. And based on those reviews that he makes,
It's here, it's got a change of name, it's improved, and it's no longer controversial.
I usually make my decision on the marker based on his review, if it's sufficient enough, or rather that I find the marker impressive enough and useful for my channel and my content as well. Now for the most obvious part of my channel is the video game aspect, niche or genre. So I find my content and my niche on the channel to be very exclusive and original in that part that It is a gun channel, and there's like a lot of those, both in the firearm world and the airgun world. But combining that concept with the video gaming aspect, which there are millions of channels on YouTube as well, combining those two worlds into a collaboration of one channel, I found that there isn't really much content on this kind of a niche, so I figured, let's give it a go. I find it fun to make, fun to shoot, fun to edit, fun to do in general, and it's original. Now that being said, I find that it's fairly easy to take influences and ideas from all the different channels that are even relatively close to my niche, such as gaming channels, editing channels, gun channels of all different sorts, and collaborating those within my concept and my niche in this channel, and creating something totally new from scratch with a hint of pop culture and memes and whatnot. But I have to say, when it comes to gaming channels, my absolute #1 favorite has to be Jacksepticeye or Sean McLaughlin. Sorry if I butchered your name, Jack. Now him and Gab Smolders or Evelyn, I find them highly entertaining as a power couple. They usually collab with each other on each other's channel, as well as play the same games, mainly at the same time as well. So I find it interesting to follow both of their channels at the same time and watch how their gameplay styles vary on the same game.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
Now you can't spell YouTube and gaming without Felix Kjellberg or Mr. PewDiePie from Sweden. I wasn't really the biggest PewDiePie fan growing up. I mainly found watching gaming channels through Jacksepticeye, and then through him I found PewDiePie, I would say, even though he has been the biggest name since the conception of the concept. But his channel and his concepts of like meme review, which has also influenced Brandon Herrera's gun meme review for obvious reasons. So you have to give credit where credit's due to the original concepts. Now, of course, some of you may know that I'm like the biggest Resident Evil fan since I was born in the early 90s and grew up in the early 2000s. Resident Evil has been like the biggest nightmare of my childhood, and I find the whole lore and all of it very close to the heart. The PlayStation horror game aspect has been very vividly on my channel throughout the Trial Runner Time Travel Adventures series, Biohazard and Dino Crisis influenced Jurassic game series as well. And of course, as the 90s child, you cannot not mention Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon, Tomb Raider, and all the classics in that corner. But going back to Resident Evil, I found that JJ's Residents of Evil channel has been one of my go-tos to look for new lore and specific details on upcoming Capcom games, because they play like a lot of Resident Evil, hence to the name. And I also like to watch them play the originals from the 90s on PS1, whilst doing live streams on the original games and talk about the upcoming news on the Capcom and Resident Evil saga.
Go figure.
Yeah, that's the world we live in.
That's the world we live in. Hey, we want to welcome Weekend Marksman air gunning to Row Squad Bravo team.
Hell
You just got
yeah.
yourself an air gunner, dude. Your team is welcome. Thank you so much for becoming a member.
Now this next guy isn't really an influence on my channel per se, but I found his content very entertaining when I just want to relax, sit down and switch my brain off. Is the narrator. Now he does a lot of reaction videos on like military TikToks and memes and people just goofing off on the internet. I find that very satisfying and entertaining to watch whenever I just want to relax. Now to be fair...
Don't say to be fair. Hate when people say to be fair.
Oh, to be fair.
Not everything that I enjoy has to be included in any kind of influence on my channel as well. Those, I believe, are my favorite YouTube channels. Well, at this time at least. I figured I'd do this little experimental video for you guys today, since it kind of seems to be a trend and YouTube is apparently all about doing trends. That wraps up today's episode. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and comment on this video and tell us what are your favorite YouTubers. And there just seems to be like a lot of repetition of people just trying to follow trends and copying each other's content and ideas. So it seems very hard to find original content on the internet these days, especially with all the noise that's going on out there in the world. Okay, I'll leave this here. Bye!